If it was a cheaply made house before, it's still a cheaply made house now. Hello everyone, this is Ashley Jamerson coming to you from Ashley Lambert Realty, and today is Tuesday. Did I mean to film yesterday? Yes. Did it happen? No. Both of my little babies woke up sick yesterday, so everything that was on my husband and I's plans was basically canceled. I mean, that's what happens. You plan this super busy, super hectic day, and then boom, your kids get sick. So everything from Monday got pushed into Tuesday, which meant that all of the homes I was going to check up on Monday got pushed to Tuesday, and then Tuesday is now pushed to Wednesday, but I'm going to get it done. I have 3 days till Disney, and then I'm going to unplug and just enjoy a magical time with my babies. But this weekend was pretty interesting because Friday I just knew I was going to wrap up the whole offer contract situation with my client with DR Horton, but they changed the process, and even though I did not want to wait until the following morning at 10 a.m., I had to because of their process. So I woke up in the morning and there was another offer, and I guess that other buyer got squeamish with the whole multiple offer thing. Possibly they were burned, in the past dealing with multiple offers, and they backed off. And so my clients didn't even have to go up on price, on earnest money. They just offered what they offered and they got the house. So that was a very nice start to Saturday. And then my clients from out of state, they came in as planned and we met at Veronica Springs. I've built 4 homes there with Lennar, and the whole process has always been very, very smooth. My clients from out of state loved it. I knew they would because the Frost plan has 5 bedrooms, a nice sized bonus room, really nice upgrades throughout the home, finished very nicely. But the caveat is that it's one of only maybe 10 basements that are going to be built in that neighborhood. Even though Lennar does not finish basements, everyone knows that basements in this area is like a little bit hard to come by. So they jumped on the opportunity, and I was so happy that they did. Other homes or other neighborhoods that I had lined up for them, I had Haven at Rocky River, which is a True Homes neighborhood, and I showed them some models at the Brentwood community because it's the same product. And then I had a Century Communities property, which is also out there in Concord, on the list. They went with the first ones. It's a really good option. I really like the neighborhood and like what they're putting into it, and you can't beat a basement. And their basement is the flatter and the best of all of them, and it actually backs up to a private area of woods. Of course I like that. Like, I like to find all the perks in a lot. So super happy. And it's possibly poolable, meaning that they can possibly drop a pool in that yard in the future because there were no easements. Again, it was flat, it was pretty wide. I mean, it's good. You have like a pool area and a hangout area, maybe a gazebo or something like that. But I was super excited about that. So this weekend I basically put 2 homes under contract, and then Sunday happened. So Sunday was a very magical day to be a Charlottean. And I'm not a true 100% Charlottean because I wasn't born and raised here. But my husband is born and raised in Charlotte. And we have not really watched any Panthers games for the whole season. Like, not really last year because last year was weird. So we didn't really watch any games. And then Cam Newton gets signed, I think on Thursday or Friday of last week. So we were watching the game just because it's like, yes, it's going to happen. Cam's going to play. Cam is signed again. And then he actually played. And oh, get it, Cam, go! Yeah! Oh! Wow! And he's back!
Do it!
Yes! You're back! And not only did he play, but the first 4 minutes that he was on the field, he scored a touchdown and he did a pass to a touchdown. So I was super pumped. I was like, this is awesome. We beat the number 2 team or the number 1 team. And then the Hornets came in, even though I do like the Warriors. In my mind, Aisha Curry and I are friends, but we beat them. And that was the best or the second best team. So our NFL team and our NBA team came out of nowhere. Charlotte is on fire all weekend. So I was super excited about that. This weekend was pretty lit. I was pretty excited. And then Monday happened. Like I said, my kids were sick. I was hanging out with them, doing the whole mom thing. I had a closing but most closings are done virtually, but this was like a mail away closing. So now let's talk about today. Today I dropped the kids off and I was like, should I go get my nails done, also known as my Disney nails, or should I go check on properties? So as a responsible adult, I went and checked on properties. I only checked on like 3 of my list today. I went to Robinson Park. That neighborhood, I mentioned it in another video. I honestly cannot believe that it's moving so fast. Robinson Park is a Ryan Holmes community, and I pulled up and I just knew that I was going to finally be able to walk up in this house, and I couldn't because they just poured the concrete for the driveway. Most of them don't mind when I show up, but Ryan Holmes is like on lock. Like they're like LGI level on lock. So he saw me and he gave me an update. It was really nice. And I was like, well, can I walk it with you? And he was like, no, not right now. But basically the big update is that there's a delay. This delay is for duct work. And Ryan Holmes is doing a really good workaround where they are going to do the other things instead of just waiting and letting the house just sit. So they're working on the siding. Then hopefully by the time they finish that, they can have the duct work in, and then they can get the HVAC stuff hooked up, and then the electrical, because you can't put electrical in before HVAC. Like there's an order to the madness on sites. Yeah, he stopped me in my tracks. He's like, nah, I can just give you an update, send pictures every week. And I was like, yeah, but we didn't know there was a delay though. You told me that in person. That was not in your email. I'm going to try to get back out there Thursday, Friday to see A, the siding, and B, if they got around to that HVAC stuff. After I left Robinson Park, I went up to Concord to check on my Bedford Farms build. My clients are building the Dunhill plan, which is the model for Bedford Farms. And the last time I checked on that house, they had nothing. They had framing, they had roof, like shingles, but they really had nothing. But when I went in there today, they are actually installing the HVAC system. So we have plumbing already, we have electrical, and I'm pretty sure we have the HVAC completed. So that's some really good progress. Because there's no windows, I cannot order the pre-drywall inspection because I like to order that inspection when it has been through the contractor's rough punch before we actually meet. And I'm not sure if these clients are going to come up from Raleigh for this one, but if they do, that'd be great. I'm really excited about it because it's coming along very, very nicely. I've mentioned it before. I really like working with Niblock Homes because they build such a good product. I wish their yards were bigger, but their setbacks on the front and the sides are really good. It's just the backyard. Like after I left Bedford Farms, it was like maybe 12 minutes away. I went up to the Haven at Rocky River. I knew there was nothing there. I just wanted to get a gauge on the timing and what has been done. So when I went there, all I saw were the surveyor's markings of like the setbacks and the building envelope. Nothing has been pulled back in regards to the utilities from the front easement, but I mean, we can actually see where the house is going to be, and the yard actually looks really good. And I love her lot because the back has a permanent tree line. It's very private for a neighborhood, of course, because there's houses on both sides, but I just really like her backyard. It's very peaceful. She can sit back there on a rocking chair or a hammock or something and like really enjoy the South because she moved here from out of state. But I'm still not done yet. So after I checked on all my houses, I came back here to speak with my website designer. I am getting all new branding. I'm using my time wisely, my little hiatus off from a full schedule, and revamping a lot of this branding stuff for the company. And he's been working with me on putting all of my ideas onto an actual website. I have a lot of things I'm just brewing up for next year, including the book, which is not done yet. But I have a lot of things brewing, and he's really helping me put those ideas together in a cohesive way where my website can be like this and then it can continue to grow as I need it. So now let's talk about some delays. The biggest delay has been my build in Amberley. It was sort of kind of hexed from the beginning, like it was just not working out. Every now and again I'll have someone ask me like, which builder do you prefer? which neighborhood, which town, which community, things like that. And I'm always super hesitant to answer the question. A, because everybody's pockets are built different. B, I don't really like talking about it because my experience with one Taylor Morrison neighborhood with one contractor versus another contractor, a different Taylor Morrison neighborhood, could be completely different. The way the neighborhood is completed, the whole vibe, the communication, that varies by builder, and it also varies by the actual contractor. Now, I mentioned that my contractor from Stony Brook Station popped up at Amberley, and I was like super happy about it. I'm still super happy about it. And then like the general manager person is like, now she's back here and she's back in action. So I'm really happy to hear that she is back. But even though we have these two awesome contractors, we still have all this supply chain delays and stuff that people just can't see it coming. I remember when everything happened, we had a lumber delay. So like I was waiting for lumber drop. Then we had a windows delay. And one of my houses up here in Huntersville sat there for like a month as we waited for one decorative window to be installed. And they couldn't do inspections of the framing until that was installed. So we were literally waiting for a puny window. It made me so mad. So, and then after the whole window delay, it moved on to tubs and the liners for the bottom of the shower. Then it went back to windows. And then we had a paint delay for like City Loft paint. And I know you're thinking like just go to Lowe's, have them mix a whole 5-gallon bucket of paint. It's not as easy as that because there's like a builder grade City Loft that's like pre-mixed from Sherwin-Williams, and this bucket will match this bucket and doesn't have that room for human error really. Then there are the inspector delays for like the city. I mean, it's been crazy. So right now, I mentioned the ductwork delay for Robinson Park that is affecting my house, and I explained their workaround with just doing everything else. But at Amberley, everything is done. They have landscaping, countertops. They have all this stuff, but now it's the AC compressor, so like the thing that sits outside for the AC unit. And there is a huge delay. Such a huge delay that the builder would save time by ordering a different system completely. And I heard this today while getting my nails done. Like they can only do one hand at a time. That's why it takes forever. I need the other hand to like call and text and stuff. My client called and told me, and when he told me, I was like, well, let me do some research. Let me call some people so I know how to handle this situation with you. And so I called my inspectors and I was like, what is the difference? Like, what's going on between, they wanted to change it from a furnace, which is gas, to a heat pump, which is electric. And they explained to me the differences. I talked to my client about it. I mean, he's willing to like let them put the heat pump in because he needs, like they need to be in the house. Like it's been since August. We've been waiting for a long time for this house to be done. It's just to be done. We've been waiting forever. It was just very heartbreaking earlier in the day when I received the update that they may not be closed before Christmas. Again, I was hoping they'd be in before Halloween, before Thanksgiving, and now Christmas. So my fingers are still crossed. They're still working out the details of what they're going to do. The wrench and everything is I have 2 other Meritage homes, one within that neighborhood. So I got to keep my ears to the ground on their HVAC situation because they're supposed to close in December as well. And I also have to keep my, eyes open for my build going on down at Shopton Point. Stress. It's like, it's not like a stress where like, oh, I did something wrong. It's a stress where you can't do anything to make it right. And that's like the worst kind of stress. But anywho, I have to update my list. I have lots of like random notes on here, but I have to add 2 more stops. I have to add one in Huntersville, and I have to add Monroe back to my list. I did have Monroe gone for a little while, which saved me about 40 minutes, to be honest. It saved me some time, but again, I think that was a very good move. And a lot of my people that are moving here from up north, they want a basement. Like they're used to basements. So us not having a lot of basements is very weird to you guys up north. But I mean, it's very, very rare for people to have basements because of our red clay situation. So I guess that's it regarding what's going on with like my personal files and like the local real estate market and stuff like that. It's just delays. Oh my goodness, I forgot. So the closing yesterday, Monday, everything everything has been processed. The money is sitting there, but it has not been recorded by the attorney yet. It being the deed. The deed has not been recorded. And the buyer's agent and I are sort of like, this is different. Like, what's going on? And now we are running into staffing delays because of the holidays. So, yeah. Now I'm done with my updates. Now I'm officially done. Like, that's crazy. I was like, you're telling me that you have 7 cash buyers that have their money just sitting in this attorney's trust account and no one has dispersed it or started recording? She was like, yeah, I'm stressed out. And I was like, well, at least we don't have back-to-back closings. At least my seller is not rolling the proceeds from this house into this house, because then we'd be in a pickle. Then I would be stressed out. But that's not the situation. It's like investor to investor. So it's good. It's like safe. It's like stressful, but it's safe. Every now and then I will get a really, really good question in my YouTube comment section. And I'm like, dang, that's a really good question. Now I do get other questions and comments that are like ridiculous, but this was a really good one. And this specific question is really good because I have built with clients in every spectrum of the money range, I guess, and like different quality builders, different types of builders, like spec home, inventory, custom, semi-custom, like I've done all that. So the question is, in your opinion, are houses being built in North Carolina with the same quality as pre-pandemic, or are these builders buying the cheapest quality products to try and rush the completion of these houses? The answer to this question is like totally multifaceted. I have to start off by saying, if it was a bare minimums builder, and I'm not going to name the builders, but if it was a bare minimum builder before the pandemic, they stayed that way. They probably had deals with different suppliers where they had like things for them set aside so they can do the complete cookie cutter options. They already had it. Like they were good. The luxury builders maintain the luxury part of their business. I don't really believe, let me see if I had any delays with my luxury stuff. I didn't have any delays that were not quickly fixed. So after you hit a certain price range, these delays sort of kind of get minimized because there's not a lot of people grabbing for it. But certain appliances, certain HVAC units, things like that, there's a lot of people wanting the same thing. So has the construction changed? Yes. I have had more mistakes or oversights in the past year and a half than I've ever had. I've had more conversations with contractors about boo-boos than I've ever had. And I think it's because of the delays. A lot of builders, if there's a delay, let's give an example of us. So our house, when we built our house, the hood we selected in the design center was out of stock. They couldn't get it. We'd have to wait months if we wanted that specific hood. So they took the one we were looking at, the one we paid for, the one we were looking for to be installed in our house, and they just upgraded it to a better one. So I have seen builders do that. I have had builders say, hey, we can't get the cabinets from this company, but we can get this similar cabinet from this company in time for your house to be completed on time. Are you cool with that? And they say, are you cool with that? It's not really a question. It's sort of like, this is what we're going to do, but that's the nice way of saying it. But they're equal quality cabinets. We did have a huge delay at one point, and excuse me, I don't know the name of this stuff, but if you were to go and if you built a house in the past year or so and you go up into your attic space and you look at the underlying part of the roof, there typically is this silver, sort of looks like aluminum foil there to help reflect the heat. Either the adhesive was gone or the actual silver material was gone. But for a lot of my houses that closed this summer didn't have that. And so they had to get that R value that this stuff would have given. They had to add more insulation, like blown in insulation, more of the Pink Panther stuff in the house to get that R value to control the heat and the cold. That's not a downgrade or like a quality issue. That's just exchanging one thing for something that will do the same job just as well. But yeah, there were a lot of boo-boos. There's a lot of stuff that just happened. Before COVID, I would say that the build process was a little bit more like multi-lane highway situation where you could have a couple of vendors in the house at the same time. But now it's very, very linear. So if someone's putting up a backsplash and the tile and the grout work is not flat, that tiler is gone. Like, he's on another site, and the electrician comes in, and when he installs his plates to the back of the backsplash, they could be wonky, crooked. They can't lay flat because the other person did their job wrong. It's just been really like very, very linear, which is another cause for delay. Once one person gets done, that other person's job ordered thing has to be put into place so they could start the next house. So they're not changing the quality of the products that they're installing from what I can see. Now, the offerings of these builders has changed drastically. So prior to COVID happening, the vast majority of the builders treated their buyers agents very well in the form of compensation. So some builders have consistently maintained that good relationship with buyers agents and compensating them for their hard work, bringing them a ready, willing, and able client, things like that. Other builders have, I guess, done like a money grab and stopped paying a lot of the buyers agents, or paying them very little. Not every buyer's agent is like me where they own a company. So when you cut another buyer's agent who works for a company, that cut hurts a lot. But that's also on the shoulders of the agent to explain documents, and I'm going to go over that in another video. That part has changed with the buyer's agent and builder relationship with some of the builders. Another thing that has changed is that because there's so much demand for houses, their closing cost incentive has decreased. I've seen $10,000 go all the way down to $5,000, $10,000 go to $8,000. I've seen builders who once offered like a full move-in package of all appliances, including the refrigerator, washer, and dryer. I've seen that taken away to only include like the stove, microwave, and the dishwasher because of the delays. It's hard for them to get all these extra appliances, and it's also hard for my buyers to get appliances as well after closing. So they've taken away that type of stuff, and they're still charging the same amount. They're skimping out on the incentives to the buyer, because if this buyer doesn't buy it, then this buyer will. If this buyer doesn't want to pay the price, then this buyer will. Construction wise, material wise, not a lot of changes, but incentives and again, the way they treat their agents, I have seen a difference there. They can't rush to the closing date because even if they get the house done, they still have to do inspections, and that's been a delay too. So it's like a rush wait, and then if something's not right, then they got to do it all over again. I haven't seen a change in quality. All of the builders that I have worked with, and let's see, I've done Excel file. So last year 51 homes, and this year 44 plus 8 I'm rolling in. So a little bit over 100 homes with different builders and different price ranges. I have not seen a change in quality. And that's being like completely honest and completely fair. If it was a cheaply made house before, it's still a cheaply made house now. If it's a luxury home, it's still a luxury home. Yeah, so I hope that answers your question. If you have any questions, definitely leave them down in the comments, and maybe I will select your question for my next video. Tomorrow is another day. I keep to update my map, add some stuff, and then go check on some properties. Just one more day closer to Disney, so I'm super excited, and it's just in time for my husband to arrive with our babies. So that's all I have for today. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment on this video. Obviously, it helps me out a lot, and I look forward to chatting with you guys soon. Bye.